Okay, audio comes from Robbie, so I get delivery of audio and then I bring that into Max, and this is all of the audio from the collision elements. So this is the particular one that I'm using, filter slide, so I've got that active. And then we play, make some cool stuff. So this is some of the keys behind this stuff. And I'm using ATK for doing some of the animation sort of workflow, this parenting, so you can quickly create little bits of animation and then dupe them around rather than being really organised with the animation to begin with, and just kind of freestyle it and then use ATK to make some sense out of it all. So this gets them rendered through this camera. And this will be rendered at 2K. This image sequence then goes into, actually let's take a look at the image sequence from this. Okay, so this is the image sequence that's got out of it. So it's 2K image sequence, which just about holds up. And then this image sequence goes back into 3ds Max in a different scene, which is basically the gallery space. So important elements are camera's positioned where the projector's positioned. There's a skew on it to emulate the lens shift. The mirror. So the mirror is an exact copy of the real world spherical mirror. These are positioned precisely where the projector and mirror will be in the scene, and also this big screen. So this is what the image is projected onto. And the viewer stands just around, his head will be just a little bit further back than this actually. But for the spherical mapping of this, so this the image is actually mapped onto this surface, and that's well, spherically with a few settings on the material. So this just basically maps a fisheye to a sphere rather than using the spherical panoramic map. This material is actually very basic. It's just a standard self-illuminating material in mental ray attached to this screen object, and there's basically a mix map that's on there to mix between left and right channels. So this is the left image sequence here, it's got left, and this is the right image sequence here, and then this, whether it's left or right, is actually controlled by this controller here. So I can just change that to 1, and then that would be the right version. So if I change that back to 0, it turns it to the left version. That's just for the speed of rendering out left and right rather than having to reapply image sequences over and over again. And then this is the diffuse map and self-illumination map. This is the cutout map, so this is using the alpha channel from the original renders, so that can carry on through to the warped render as well. So this looks a bit like, so this is the view from the camera, which is pretty much the view from the projector in the exhibition space. So that's the warped version. You can see as well, it's retaining the alpha from the original, even though that's hitting two solid alphas from this object and this object. And that's done in mirror settings. Somewhere in there, I can't remember where it is, but it took a while to figure out. Okay, and then this image sequence is then brought into After Effects again. To here, and we've got on this one very simple effects that are on it. So literally just a glow goes on it. We could put that glow on it previously, but it would mean an additional render from comp. And for something simple like a glow, it doesn't really affect the stereoscopy at this point or the warping. So it's not a big enough effect to warrant putting it on before. So then the left and the right images are brought in and comped up using a couple of scripts that you can download for free. Then the 3D version, this is my preview comp, so I can see the stereoscopic version here. And then check that with my glasses. Some of this stuff won't make total sense when looking at on a screen, because this has to be seen backwards, because this is a mirrored version of the scene, and also it's heavily distorted, so some of this stuff looks like it's not lined up, but when it gets projected through the mirror it all gets undistorted and looks as it should do. Then these are output with an under and over, so the left is on the top and the right is on the bottom, and then this video would get brought into modulate as one of the layers that can be triggered from the launchpad. The modulate sends those out to VideoMax, where they get both put back together and looks something like this once again, and that's what gets projected back onto the screen. And this gets done for every single piece of audio, for every single button that's on the launchpad. For each element there's 8. Eight variations, 8 versions of an element. So this is just a few different versions of these elements. And then this is quite different for the different elements as well. Some of these are all very similar in structure, but for some of the others they're drastically different kind of shapes that exist in different kind of spaces. So this is just some of the kind of the play that happens with it. Just under the torus knot. And this is displaced, noise modifiers, ripples, twisted, turbo smoothed. So we get something that looks really quite fluidy, which looks like it kind of pops out of an egg. Stuff is exploded, so I'm not sure what's doing. Shell, it's just creating an outer surface of the sphere, and it's being optimized. So being shelled, creating a surface there. Optimized, add some greeble. Oh, I didn't use the greeble in the end. And then mesh bond. So if I had to use the greeble. And that's literally the workflow, is just going in here and playing with stuff. Then animating. perfect.